Hello everybody, this is the week number 6 lecture video for the Introduction to Computer Science. I am sharing the Blackboard week number 6 with you. There is the objective listed. The topic will be working with file system, and here's some instructional material. I will post the lecture video as well as any other items after this is finished. And there are some assignments assigned for you. Let's take a quick look at the assignment. There are two items. This is not assigned for this one. This is something else that, but anyway, so there's a Zybooks chapter 12 link, and then I'd like you to create write a program, which I'll talk to you a little bit more about. Again, this is not for this class. If you download the lesson plan, you will see the lesson plan here, which is a little bit updated, and I will post up after I finish this. But anyway, and so the topic for this week is the file system, and I want you to understand how to do basic file operations in your programming. So in Zybook chapter 12, so let me just kind of go there and browse a little bit with you. So here's the chapter 12. There's a lot in here, but I only assigned the first 3, I think. So reading the file, writing the files, interacting with the file systems. And if you are adventurous and you'd like to learn some more, feel free to browse the rest of them. I'm sure you get to work on with many of these in the following courses. So now let me make some comments about the files. So the basic, some of the basic operations that you'll be doing is to read from a file. To read a file, you will need to open it first. And that assumes that there is a file already existing. And when you are opening the file, you need to indicate that what you're going to do to read from it, right? So indicate that you are going to read from it. This means that if you want to write to a file, then you will need to indicate that when you open it. So you need to say upfront what you're going to do with it, and then actually read from that file, and then remember to close it using the close function. And I'll demo a little bit later. Opening the file, there's a function called open parentheses. You can do that, and you can actually read parentheses. It reads the entire file. Read line parentheses reads only one line at a time, only one line, and then you gotta repeat it, right? So you can do something like this kind of a syntax. You can say give it a variable f. You can give it a whatever variable you want. It doesn't really matter. And then it'll be opening the file, and then provide the name of the file with quotation mark separated by comma, and then R for reading. So this will read from, it'll open the file, it'll read it, assign it to the variable. And then if you want to print it, you can print whatever is read, right? So you can do that. Now this assumes that this file, demo file.txt, is in the same file location as your program. And I'll explain to you a little bit more exactly what I mean by that. But anyways, because if you just execute this, we don't know where this file is located on your computer, right? Or any other computer. So sometimes you need to specify where that file is exactly located. And so instead of just giving the name of the file, you need to provide a path where that file is located, okay? It could be a C drive or whatever drive you wanted to provide. Notice that there is a double slash for the Windows users or programs. But if you're a Mac user, then use the other way. The subsequent dividers could be single or double. It doesn't really matter. And I'll show you a common example of that. Understand how to write a file. It's almost the same thing, except now you have few differences, and that is when you have two options, at least two options. Common ones is you can open it, because if you want to write it, you also need to open it, right? You can say you're going to write it, but when you use a W for writing it, it'll overwrite whatever is there. If you want to append to whatever is in the file already, then you can say A for append, right? So you can choose whichever you want. In terms of some options that you can write, let's see. So here's a, you can write, or you can do a write lines, which will also demo on two options, whichever way you want to do it. So these are like write features, right? And then, so there's a little bit more detailed exercises in a demo in section 3. So take a look at them. You don't have to do the word 9. So this is a optional on your own. So maybe I'll just take this guy out altogether. There are two helpful resources that I thought might be worth mentioning to you. One of them is, I usually kind of show you this guy here, W3. So if I have it already, I think here's a Python W3 school. So creating a new files, opening it, and so you can try different things on here. And then there's also this program is, let's see if I can get to that one. So working with the file IO from this program is so how to open it, write it, and close it. So you can take a look at a little bit more of this if you know the other things doesn't make as clear of a sense to you, or you just want to try it out. So in terms of assignments, I'd like you to do Zybook chapters first 3 sections. And I made a comment here for those who wants to learn more. Certainly, you can log directly into the Zybooks and try all the other ones. So let me see if I can highlight this guy here. And then assignment programming, I will show this to you how it works. But I want to tell you that you want to do this using an IDE such as a PyCharm or Spider or whatever you said you preferred when I asked you last time. But if you are, if you say you prefer the online, now is the time that you want to download and install the one you like, because it'll be tricky to use the online program. So download it and install one you like. PyCharm seems to be popular for a lot of people. So anyway, so I'd like you to write a program that will do the following. Simply open a file name, test1.txt. Write in that file your full name 2 times. Once in the first line and another on the second line, and then close the program. So very straightforward and simple. But obviously, before you do this assignment, you need to create a blank text file named test1.txt, right? Because if it doesn't exist, you'll have to create it. And I just want this to be a simple exercise on how to get these things done. And then what I'd like you to submit is the actual code that you used in for this assignment. Copy and paste it into the text file like a notepad or Node++. Don't put them in the, so maybe I'll just put it here in a notepad, notepad++ or any text file, right? So I have something like this here. So this is a Notepad++. So this is a note, yeah. So you can put it in there and attach it. Also, screenshot of this test one screenshot. Maybe not before or after, but so here's a sample screenshot. Of what I'd like you to show me. So here is the screenshot of the, this screenshot shows you three things, right? Your program, and then your file shows me where the directory is at, and then actual Notepad, what's inside. Obviously, you will need to change these two things to your name, all right? So your text file and the screenshot showing all these things. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Let me save this here, and now let me show you on how to do that. So I have here a PyCharm, and let me see if I can delete this here. And so let me bring up a few programs that I'm going to show you as a demo. But maybe let me show you what you need to do for your assignment first, so that you know. Okay, so here's an example. So as I mentioned to you, I'm opening the file and I'm providing the exact file path here, and we can try without providing one, and I'll show you where the files are, and I'm going to write on it. So let's see here. I want to show you where the here's the write text. So I'm going to open this guy. I'm going to delete the whole thing, and then I'm going to save it. I save it, and then I'm going to close it. As you can see, this is 0 kilobytes. There's nothing in there. So if you open it up again, there's nothing, right? So I'm going to open this file to the right and assign it to the variable. I'm going to write a line, Jane Doe, with a new line, and then I want to write another line after the new line or the tab or carriage return, and Mary Jo, and I'm going to close it. Okay, so when I run this program, the only thing it shows you is the process finished, because I'm not displaying anything out here. Now, when I come here, notice that it changed to 1 kilobyte, because then I know that something is written, right? So if I click on this, I see that there's John Doe right here, and then there's Mary Jo on the next line, right? So I'd like you to take a screenshot of like this, kind of like that. Kind of like that, okay? So kind of like the way that I showed you in the screenshot in the lesson plan. But anyway, so that's how you do it. Now, when I, so let's say I'm going to do, let's try this guy here. So as I mentioned to you before, here I am opening a file called write text. And then let me get out here, and I'm going to delete all this for now. And there's nothing in there. But I did not provide a file path for this write text. So how does it know where this is at? Well, it knows not because it's sort of magic or whatever, but it assumes, if you don't provide a file path, to be in the same directory as that your program is. So, well, where's that at? Well, as you can see, the file, my program is located right here in the C directory, user, Sung Kim, PyCharm projects, test1 directory, which is like right here, right? So same thing here, so as you can see. C user, Sung Kim, PyCharm projects, test1, right? So that's the file directory that my program is in. And as you can also see, that's where my file write.txt is in, right? So that's how it knows. It assumes that it is the default working station. So if you run this, executes, as you can see, it writes to it, right? So there you go. So that's how it knows. So you don't have to provide, but uh, you know, so if you know that it is in the same directory, you can skip it. If not, then you will have to provide for it. Okay. So that's that. So let's try a few other ones here. What if you wanted to read? Okay. So here's a read text file, and here's the read text file. If I open this up, here's some goofy message. Hello, this is the first line. What's going on? Do you have this? This is the last line, and kind of like that, right? So if I want to read from that file, I can open this. In this case, I provided a exact path, intention to read, and I'm going to print out whatever I read it from that entire file, right? I'm going to close it too. So if I run this guy here, it prints out, because I said print, right? The content of that file right here. So you can do that. Let's see. You can also do something like this. So let's get rid of this guy here. And if you run this guy, it does the same thing. You can just print to it, say hello Joshua or whatever, and you're gonna there's a different way of opening it. You can open it with open, provide the file name with reading as a file name, a variable f, and you're gonna read that, and you're gonna print out the content. But what's these two lines shows you that the mode of the file that you open is I want to know what that is. If you want to show what that is and you want to print it, it says you opened it with R or to read. And then if you want to make sure that you closed it and you want to print out that status, then it'll you can print that out as well. And it says closed is true. Okay. Now let's try this guy here to overwrite it. So this is the write file. So let me see. We have John Doe and Mary Jo in here. And if you just say, I'm going to open it with W, and if you just write it, it's going to overwrite it, right? So let's give that a try. Obviously, it doesn't print anything here because I'm not printing to the program. If we go out here, take a look at it, it overwrote whatever was there, which was John Doe and Mary Jane, or Doe or something, right? So be careful when you are using the W because previous content will be gone. So there are other items that you can try. This is another variation of almost the same. So you can say write lines, and you can provide them in a bracket to write it in a series, or you can provide a list of things to write on. So if we execute this guy here and go out to the write text, we should see you soon over and out. Okay, so that's just a different way of writing things, and if you want to do that. So I'll post up this code for you to play with, but make sure you give it a try And so I think that's pretty much it. Let's go back to kind of summarize what we did. So here's the week number 6 objectives and instructional material, which are updated as soon as it is over, and the assignments. Again, just these 2 items for the Zybook and the file. This is not in your for this class. And then in terms of the lesson plan, I went over some details about the Zybooks notes and some resources assignment for the Zybooks, and I showed you how to do the assignment program. Make sure you do this using a downloaded software, and what you need to submit in terms of the assignment. That's it for today. Looking forward to receiving your work, and wishing you have a great week.